This episode is empowered by Play With Rocks Entertainment. Hello, and thank you so much for joining another episode of Weasoff Podcast. I am your host and creator, Stacey Pryce. Holy crap, guys. I think it's been some time since I've done an episode with just myself. I've been doing a lot of interviews recently. I even have one later today. Just meeting a lot of people, just learning about people, learning about myself these past couple of days. So I wanted to talk a little bit about discipline and how important that is into your next version of self. It's so interesting. A buddy of mine, Lewis, he actually gave me this book. And I just want to add again, and I'm pretty sure you've heard this before, and if not, this may be your first time. A lot of these self-help books, and a lot of books just in general, are for free on YouTube. So if you have a YouTube subscription, YouTube these days is like a search engine. You can literally go online, type in the title of your favorite book, and get it for free, just in case you're in a bind and you don't have any money to purchase a book. Also, YouTube is free. Yeah, you might have to skip a couple of ads, but guess what? Knowledge is available to you for free. So the funny thing is, I've read a lot of books, and I mean a lot of books, and I tend to be, or used to be, the person that would consume so much knowledge and not execute. And I realized that absorbing knowledge is fun, and it's like I get a high off of it. It's like, oh my God, look at all this like shit I know. This is amazing. And then I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to apply it here. But then when I say apply it here, it's always something in the distance, right? It was always something in the distance. So now I realized something about myself, and I'm still reading this book. I think I have, I don't know, let me do some math here to see how much time I have left to finish this book online. So this book that I'm talking about that is literally changing my life. Of course, you guys, for the listeners out there that know me already, you know that I always preach about or talk about Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. That was the first book to trigger my wokeness, so to speak. So this book I'm going to tell you about in a moment. This book is 6 hours, 52 minutes, and 35 seconds. All right, I'm just going to say 6:53, right? 6 hours and 53 minutes. Minus, I am already 3-4 hours in. All right, so I have a little over an hour to finish. So a friend of mine that happens to be a guy, his name is Brandon Duff to be specific, and I met him through the Build Your Brand Challenge, now known as mastermind.com. He told me about speeding up books. So I got to look at my text to see when I started this book, but literally what I've been doing is every morning I wake up, I say thanks. Of course, you have to give thanks. I go and work out. I do 3 miles. I do a steel mace workout, and then I make breakfast. And while I'm making breakfast, I listen to this book. And it really triggered my inner self to continue doing what I'm doing and to have faith in it. Like, I usually do have faith, but I think the amount of fire that this book has given me, and I can't say the book gave it to me. It was already inside of me. It just kind of brought it to light. And now I'm like, okay, you got to just keep going. Just keep going, and then everything that you want will happen. This is also something that's in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book is also for free online. So if you need the link, just send me an email. It's wasoff@gmail.com, and I will send you the link so you don't have to do any work. I will do it for you, in a sense. Everything else is up to you, what you do with the knowledge. So don't be that person that I used to be where you just absorb and don't take action, because that's literally what's keeping you from your next version. So the name of the book is The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy. This book, like I said, is for free online. So if you want the link, let me know and I will send it to you, no issue. Once again, it's wasoff@gmail.com. So here's what I learned about myself by listening to this book that I'm now 6 hours in. Now, I want to also mention that Brandon mentioned to me to speed up my books. And sometimes I was like, in the past, I was like, well, am I going to retain the information? Yes, you will retain the information, because the only thing that is setting you from retaining information is value and benefit. So if it's of value to you, it will benefit you because you're going to focus on it. You're going to absorb it like you're a sponge to water. Like you're just going to eat it all up. So if it's of benefit to you, you will absorb it. I listen to my books at a 1.75 speed, and I'm pretty sure that I will increase that at another date. But right now, 1.75 is really good for me. This is also a feature that is free on YouTube. So while you're listening or while you're driving to work, you can listen to these books to help get you to your next level of self. And you can listen to it in so fast. This is how much this benefited me. So this book called, let me just pull it up because I want to make sure I get the title and the author right. Now, this book is something that I'm typing it in my laptop. I'm running a freaking... My friend was kind of like, what? Damn, that shit is old. I am working on a 2010 MacBook Pro. I did change the solid state drive, actually. So in a sense, it had a hard drive in there, a regular hard disk drive. And then I actually upgraded my own laptop and put a solid state drive in it. So if you need assistance with that, I have a video that I can send you if you want to upgrade your laptops. It does move a little bit faster. I probably have to reinstall the operating system, as my buddy told me, because the Bluetooth is not working. And that was something that was happening on my other laptop. When I first installed this, it started to work and then it went out again. So there might be a bug in here. All right, so let me see the name of this book. I appreciate your patience. Okay, all right, so The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements is a book. It's like a practical guide to personal freedom. This book, I have absorbed this book. So let me see. This is by Don Miguel Ruiz. This book is amazing. I really enjoyed reading this book. And once again, this was a book that I listened to on YouTube. So let's see how long this was. I'm just going to pull that up so you know what I'm talking about and how beneficial this will be to your personal growth. Let me just go on my right YouTube channel. I have so many now. Switch account. But what I'm trying to say is that knowledge is great, and that whole thing that knowledge is power, in a sense it is, but knowledge is not powerful unless you execute it. So let's see. Let's go to my library. Now, once again, I listened to this for free on YouTube. Let's see all. Let's see. Where is this? So this was... Looking for it. Dang, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Yeah, you never realize until you really look. It's like, dang, I spent a lot of time on YouTube. This is insane. Oh my god, where is this? All right, let me just type it in. The Four Agreements, full audiobook. So this book was... Where the heck is it? All right, so it was about... I think the original time... This one seems longer. I don't know why. So this book, when I read it, it was a little over an hour. Maybe like, let's say an hour and 45 minutes. When I sped read that book by speeding up the time on YouTube, it was about 45 minutes I finished that book. 45 minutes. And I think that book I actually made a little bit faster. So I might have listened to it like at a 2.0 speed. But the thing is, it's like I absorbed so much knowledge from that book. And the thing that I took from it is maybe a little different from you, but literally you can't dwell on what people say about you. You can't dwell on the issues that you think you have or the issues that you have now made your reality. You can't dwell on the issues like, oh, my mom said or my dad said, oh, the reason why I'm like this is because Joe said or my coworker said, or, you know, my boyfriend said, my girlfriend said, my ex said, my upbringing sucked. You cannot blame that. You can't, because that's in the past. That's not now. Now is you realizing that there was an issue. And what a lot of us do is that we get stuck in this reel of lack. We speak lack, and speaking lack is not going to benefit you in any way. All it does is take away from your greatness. All it does is take away from your gift, and it takes away from your purpose. So if you start to speak prosperity and certainty in your life and believing in that and kind of pushing away the issues of the past, if you do that, you will literally start to change how you think. If you change how you think, you change who you are, because that's really what's limiting you from your sense of self. I mean, even if somebody gives you a freaking compliment, necessarily, they're not really saying it for you. Like, it's nice to receive compliments, but it's not for you. It's for them. It's like saying, I acknowledged you. I acknowledge that I'm seeing what you're doing. Like when somebody says, oh my God, I like your shoes. What they're really saying is, I like those shoes on you. Because think about it. If you didn't have your outfit together, if you didn't have everything together and you didn't pull it together and you weren't radiating that energy of confidence, because think about it, right? Let's think about this. You dress up or you wear something that makes you feel good, right? You're radiating that positivity. You're radiating that awesomeness. You're radiating certainty. You're radiating that you are aware of yourself. You're loving yourself because you look good. So when you do that and somebody says, oh my God, I like those shoes on you, it's not the shoes. I mean, they might recognize the shoes, but it's not the shoes. Because if you were wearing a garbage bag and you had those shoes on, nobody would give a shit. Nobody would give a shit. So it's really you. It's about you and how you wear it. So that's what I obtained from the 4 agreements. Once again, free on YouTube. If you want the link, email me, wasoff@gmail.com. But with this book, Self-Discipline, oh my goodness. So literally I'm about an hour almost into it. So my goal, once I see I'm like an hour away from listening to this or finishing the book, I'm like, okay, this is like a mental workout. I gotta freaking finish this. So my goal is to finish it, if not like in the day, because I'm going to go and do some deliveries later, but I need to finish this freaking book. Like I'm so close, you know? So it's really about self-discipline. So a lot of the issues or the number one issue that keeps, well, technically there's 2 issues that keep us away from our next version of self. Number 1 is consistency. I, of myself, know this. I started my podcast 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And only now am I recognizing the benefit it is to me to that next level. Like it already benefited me because I was like, okay, I'm meeting new people. I'm coming out of the comfort zone. I'm coming out of my shell. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about other people, etc. And that was great, but I'm not making any money off of it. And that's the issue because I wasn't consistent. And now I'm realizing how important that is because now not only can I help people, I can monetize this. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it. But the only way to monetize it is to make it consistent, you know? There's so many things, like so many people want to lose weight. Like that's like why is that the number one thing that everybody wants? Oh, I need to lose weight. Oh, I need to do this. Everything is about that. But you can't lose weight without consistency, right? Like I even think about myself. I used to have like a 6-pack, right? I used to have a 6-pack abs. And what I realized is that it was consistency and number 2, action. That's 2 things, consistency and action. Because I used to go to this gym called Cats. I'm not even sure if it's still there. If it is, let me know. I had the best trainer. His name was Eric. I think he moved to Florida, but really appreciated his energy. He made me laugh, but he kicked my ass. And twice a week I would go. So I was consistent in going. It was always twice a week. Always twice a week. The workout was a little over an hour. That included a cool down. And I was in the best shape of my life. And the beauty of going to this place, they also provided a nutritionist. So now it's like I'm changing the way I ate. I changed the way I was working out. And I was in the best shape of my life. I was like, I had so much energy. I was healthy. And it was amazing. So, of course, going through like putting so much like attention on different relationships that I had and issues that I had, I stopped. And then what happened? I started to gain weight again. So by listening to this book, now I'm like, okay, Stace, that version of you is still there. You just have to get back to it. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. But it does get easier. So it's the power of self-discipline. The power of self-discipline is what's going to get you to your next version. The power of self-discipline is going to get you to lose weight. The power of self-discipline is going to, you want to make money, you have to be disciplined. There's no other way to do it. That's why when you see all these like motivational speakers, or you see somebody that has like a $1 billion business, it's discipline. Some people be like, oh my God, Warren Buffett has all this money. He's disciplined. He sets it and forgets it. He knows, he has knowledge of investing. And he gets that from reading. The man reads. You can't just show up and get $1 million unless you have it like that, where you're going somewhere. It's like, okay, somebody's just going to hand it to you. But the issue is that money's going to run out. You have to keep working. You have to find what you want to do. You have to find your purpose. You have to keep going, And I'm just so grateful that, I'm able to read this book, and I'm reading it for free. And I'm so grateful that I chose me. You kind of have to choose you. You can't, just sit back and be like, well, Joe so-and-so, was supposed to work out with me and they stopped, so I stopped. That's an excuse. That is literally an excuse. You're going to blame This is the issue. People don't want to take ownership. Why don't you want to take ownership? Because you don't want to blame yourself? I've been there where I wasn't taking ownership. I was like, you know what? I couldn't do this because my mom said. I couldn't do this because I didn't have the opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere. Literally, the creation of the internet, it's so funny. Everybody's like, oh, social media sucks. Social media is the downfall of humanity. If you know how to use social media, it will benefit your everyday life. I promise you. So for me, in this self-discipline thing, I started really getting into this on October 4th. So mark my words for myself also, and to hold myself accountable. October 4th is when I made a decision. The thing is, the more consistent you are, the more the discipline is now a part of your habit. That's what it is. You have to change your habit. You have to change that past self. Like, I was over here calling myself lazy. What? Like, the way I was talking about myself was not healthy for my next version. So now I'm realizing how important self-talk is. How important that is to your sense of self and discipline for you. So on October 4th, I said I'm going to make a decision. And making a decision is probably another very important thing. I decided to get to my next self. I said, look, you got to really write down for yourself, what does this version of self look like? What does my miracle morning look like? What is my day when I'm like a gazillionaire? What does that look like? And you have to live it now, because if you don't live it now, when are you going to live it? So I said to myself, like, well, my best self is going to start out with, coffee or whatever, or reading or meditation or whatever, and then I'm going to work out. I'm going to freaking kick my own ass, because if you kick your own ass in the day, the rest of the day is easy. There's nothing else that's going to like keep you from anything, because you've kicked your own ass. You already like put in the work. Like right now, my muscles are sore. My muscles are sore. And this is how quick this can happen. So let's look at my so I'm grateful enough to have I have an Apple Watch, I have an iPhone, so I use the fitness app on here. So on October 1st, I met my move goal. Barely any working out. I didn't work out. So that was the same thing from October 1st to the 3rd. October 1st to the 3rd, I met my move goal, but I didn't meet my exercise goal. And that green ring is the most important, because that's when you kick your own ass. So on the 4th, I went for a walk with my girlfriend, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, like right here in my neighborhood, I could do a good 3 miles. I don't need a gym membership. That's free. I live here already. I could do a good 3 miles, and I know exactly where that mile mark is because I walked it. And I said, okay, all right, do it again tomorrow. So from October 5th through the 11th, I worked out every single day. Was it tough? Yes. Did I do it? Hell yeah. You can do this. You can get to your next version of self. It starts with a freaking decision, and you have to freaking commit. You have to commit to that. You can't like be like, oh, I tried. Screw that shit. You have to kick your own ass. Start out in the morning and start out early. You know why all these like CEOs and everything, you know why they're successful? They kick their own ass in the morning. They start out with that workout and they get in early. They're usually the first person in the freaking building putting in the work that they can't stand, because they know they have to get that shit done before everyone else comes in and bothers them. So I committed. And now it's part of my routine because I made a decision and I put it into action. That's what's going to get you to your next version of self. Not sitting there on the couch being like, oh my God. You know what the worst thing is when you say you're going to start a diet on Monday. Monday? So that means you're going to gain 7 more pounds on top of the 30 you want to lose by waiting. By thinking like that, you're never going to change. The best way to start a diet is to buy a thing of donuts, and then when you're going to put that first donut in your mouth, you put that shit back in the box and you throw it out. That is how you start a diet. And you say, you know what? It starts now. In a diet, screw that word. I used it. I misspoke. It's a lifestyle change, because diet is temporary. That means I'm just doing this for a week. I'm just doing this to fit in my wedding dress. I'm just doing this for a little bit. Screw that shit. You have to change that shit immediately. Stop the shit. You want to drink more water? Drink it. You want to eat more vegetables? Eat them. Don't be like, oh, tomorrow, go get them. Because you have 5 seconds. 5 seconds to make a freaking decision. So for example, you're like, should I get up early? And you just sit there. Why are you sitting there? Just get up. Because once you sit there, you're never going to change. You're never going to change. You're never going to change. You're going to sit there and just literally talk yourself out of it. 5 seconds. Like literally, you have to put it into action. So start counting backwards. Be like, should I get up early? You have 5 seconds to make a decision. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get the hell out of your damn bed. Just get up. Get up and do something. Make a schedule from the night before. Discipline yourself. Stick to it. Somebody's gonna be like, yo, come out. We're drinking. We're partying. Let's have a good time. Say no. Say no. You're wasting your time. You know what alcohol does? Alcohol is sugar. It's sugar. Now you're drinking sugar. I'm not saying you can't drink. Do it moderately. I'm not saying you can't party. Do it moderately. But potty. Yikes. All right. You should do that. But like the thing is, you have to make a decision. You have to change yourself. Like this, you're never going to get to that goal without changing you. Period. There's no way. Unless your YouTube channel is of you sleeping and people really want to watch that, you're never going to change. You're never going to monetize that. Never. So you have to get to your next version of self. So this book about discipline is so beneficial. Like I said, if you want the link, send me an email, wasoff@gmail.com. I will gladly send it to you. Just put in the subject, send me the link, and I will send it to you. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. Guys, I'm really grateful. I'm so happy. I started a YouTube channel. I'm new, but I'm going. So please subscribe. Just type in Waste Off Podcast or type in my name, Stacey Pryce. You will find me. Just look for the Waste Off Podcast logo and subscribe. Just click subscribe, like the video, comment on the video. Make sure you like the Facebook page as well. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to do. And let's get to your next version of self. Stop waiting and start doing.